The U.S. could run out of money in just 5 days. Today, the Republican-controlled House will vote on a bipartisan agreement to suspend the nation's borrowing limit and avoid economic disaster. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connor.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol, filling in for Netta Arampur. So as of this morning, there's still some strong opposition to the deal. That's why CBS 8's Chris Crow, he's joining us in studio, working for your wallet, to really explain to us the impact it'll have if the bill doesn't make it to the president's desk. Chris?
Huge economic impacts here if this does indeed not make it to the president's desk. And here's the thing, we're seeing opposition from both sides, both political parties saying, hey, this is either too much of a cut or this is not going far enough. So it is going to go down to the wire here. We'll finally get a House vote, but many are wondering, how is it going to shake out?
Unless something changes on the bill, absolutely, I'm triple no.
No, I and many other progressives lean no.
Now, if this doesn't pass, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said previously, quote, failure to meet the government's obligations would cause irreparable harm to the U.S. economy, the livelihoods of all Americans, and global financial stability. Now, according to U.S. News and World Report, these are some of the things that could potentially happen. Social programs could be cut or put on pause in order for the government to save money. Interest rates would likely go up, and there will also be a host of problems as well as maybe even some panic in the market. Now, let's take a look at what some of the biggest changes will be to your wallet, especially if you qualify for some of these programs, if this does indeed make it to President Biden's desk. Let's start with food stamps. The agreement in place would actually put in work requirements for food stamps for older Americans. It would extend that age limit. So those 55 and older without children would be required to work or be in a training program for at least 80 hours a month. The current work requirements only apply to those 49 and younger. Now, work requirements for homeless veterans and young adults coming out of foster care will not change. They would still be exempt from the mandatory hours. And as for student loans, if this agreement passes, it ends the moratorium on repayments, and that would impact roughly 43 million people who still owe. The pause on payments also set that interest rate at 0%, so we do know that some people have been making payments since that went into place at the beginning of the pandemic. Now, you would have to go back to paying off your loans at the end of August, but as for the fate of the student loan forgiveness program, that is not being held up by these discussions. That is in the hands of the Supreme Court. The Biden administration unveiled that plan last year. To refresh some of you, it does forgive up to $10,000 in student loans for eligible borrowers earning less than $125,000, and it would forgive $20,000 of loans for those eligible for Pell Grant recipients. Eric?
All right, Chris, thanks for keeping track of all that. Developments will be coming today on that, and we'll stay on top of it. This morning, there are concerns about safety at a popular shopping center in Chula Vista. This comes after a 3-year-old boy was hit and killed by a car on Saturday. It's been identified as Josiah Tulefoa. We were told that he was heading into his birthday party at Play City. The shopping center near Otay Lakes Road has several businesses for children and families, and they can be seen coming through there every day. Some people tell us they have witnessed dozens of speeding cars.
Cars sometimes drive maybe like over the speed limit, 25, 30, with no intentions of stopping. You know, they look at you just crazy, just don't care.
The incident is still an ongoing investigation. Police say the driver did remain at the scene and is cooperating with investigators. This morning, 9 teens are under arrest in connection with this beating of 3 Camp Pendleton Marines last Friday night in San Clemente. The attack was caught on camera near the San Clemente Pier. One of the Marines says it happened after he asked the crowd of teens to move on when he was hit with debris from fireworks.
My face still had like blood all over it. It wasn't cool at all.
The Marines were treated for minor injuries. 5 of the teens were arrested and taken to juvenile hall. They face assault with deadly weapon charges. 4 others were charged with misdemeanor assault and battery. They were not taken into custody.
And turning to the homeless crisis this morning, we are hearing from both sides on a proposed ban on homeless encampments. Mayor Todd Gloria talked about the impact of these encampments and school children. They say students are seeing and dealing with things they just shouldn't have to.
These children are witnessing drug use, violence, sex acts, public defecation, and urination on a daily basis. Sadly, this is the experience of many of the children at our schools across our city.
Along with the unsafe encamping ordinance, Mayor Todd Gloria is pushing for 2 safe sleeping sites for people experiencing homelessness to go to. Now the city council will vote whether to ban homeless encampments on public property June 13th. Right now, opponents are working to stop it. Some advocates think the ban would only make the homelessness crisis worse. A group called the People's Council San Diego has created a petition against it.
The goal of the petition is to have Mayor Gloria and the City Council rescind this ordinance proposal and recommit to the permanent supportive housing, safe campsites, more 24-hour public access bathrooms.
If approved, the mayor's office says the ordinance would likely go into effect sometime in August.
Starting today, if you want to watch the upcoming Padres games, you will not be finding them on Bally Sports. Bally's parent company, Diamond Sports, going bankrupt and failed to make its $60 million payment to the Padres last night. So the right to broadcast the games has now been handed over to Major League Baseball. The team and the MLB will now partner with a direct-to-consumer streaming option that will also eliminate local game blackouts. So here's where you can find the Friars on TV moving forward. DirecTV, channel 694, AT&T Uverse, channel 781, Cox Cable channel 4, and Spectrum channel 305. Padres fans can purchase a direct-to-consumer MLB TV subscription for $19.99 a month or $74.99 for the rest of the season. During this transition, Padres games played through this Sunday are available for free on the MLB website, Padres.com, and MLB mobile apps. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, and Bob Scanlon will still broadcast the game since they are employees of the Padres. The new broadcast partnership begins at 3:40 p.m. today when the Padres take on the Miami Marlins. Taking a look outside here on this Wednesday, let's check in with Evan and see how the skies are shaping up. Another great one?
Well, in many spots of the county, yes. But take a look at Hotel Del. I mean, this is one of the select few spots where we're seeing actually quite a bit of light peeking through. So congratulations to the parts of the county. And it mainly looks to be around downtown San Diego, stretching through the South Bay, that we're seeing close to the coast, a little bit of sunlight peeking through. We're hoping that holds steady, right? But the expectation is that by the afternoon, overwhelmingly, the coastline will be under cloudy skies. Afternoon highs are going to peak in the mid-60s. Inland valleys holding on to the clouds as well. These temperatures are mostly about 5 degrees cooler than average close to the coast. A little bit more of a difference compared to normal as you head toward the mountains and deserts, about 10-15 degrees cooler than average. But let's take a look at how that map is shaping up. Take a look. This is that cloud cover breaking apart close to the coastline. So if you are between, say, Del Mar and the South Bay, you're getting this little peak of light coming through. There are some clouds lined up over the Pacific that seem to be a bit more menacing, which means that this stretch of clearing may be only brief. Also, if you look all the way up toward Oceanside, from Oceanside to San Clemente, we've got some showers that are just marching on shore. So quite a difference depending on where you are. Some spots seeing this type of view to start off the morning. Other spots of the county actually getting some light. So that's the promise that we have on hand. This is a view from the Children's Pool in La Jolla. Thank you, Barry, for sending this photo in. It was an overcast day yesterday, even with a few sprinkles all the way through the day and into the nighttime hours too. Afternoon highs in the 60s today, 64 for PB, 66 for San Diego and Coronado, along with Santee and El Cajon, both at 66. Up the coast, you've got a pretty similar range out there, 60s for your coastline and inland, upper 50s and mid 50s for Palomar Mountain. 55 is about as warm as they're going to get. When you look out toward Julian, we're looking at a high of 55, Alpine 59, and Borrego Springs and Ocotillo Wells both capping out at 84 degrees this afternoon. Let's take a look at traffic. Here's a look at your border wait times from the CBP website. It is a 100-minute wait right now for the general line at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, a 65-minute wait for the general line at the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. We also want to get you up to date on what gas prices look like. This morning, gas prices are up after jumping 2 cents overnight. Right now, San Diego's average price is $4.92 for a regular gallon of gas. That is the highest amount since April 21st. The price has increased 10 cents over the past 2 weeks. Gas Buddy says increases will continue due to refinery issues. Back to you.